Spurgeon here with RevZilla, and today we're going to take a look at the TCX Fuel WP Boots available at RevZilla.com. So what TCX is offering you with the Fuel WP Boots is a modern take on a traditional engineer boot. Now, if you're looking at TCX's lineup, they've already got the Heritage, and the Heritage is going to be that simple slip-on engineer-style boot. But what you're getting with the Fuels is a step up from the fact that you now have a zip entry on the medial side. You're still going to have that waterproof protection, but you're going to get some beefed up features such as the shift panels. But really what we're seeing here is their new ideal sole construction that we'll get to in a minute. But really it's going to be the sole of the boot that has changed most drastically over what we've seen from TCX in the past. Now, sizing for this, it's going to be very traditional as to what you'd expect from TCX. Sizes are going to range from 36 up to 48, and let me explain to you what I mean by traditional sizing for TCX. So I am a size 12, and when I use TCX's size chart, it converts me over to a size 46. I put this boot on and it fits absolutely perfectly. I very rarely have surprises with TCX, and the Fuels are no exception to that. Now there's two colors available for this. You're going to have the black version, which I have in front of me, and there's also going to be a brown version, both of which have a very distressed kind of a feel. It already feels like it's broken in, like it's worn in for you, and a lot of that's coming from the oiled leather. It has a very soft, supple feel to this. Now, if you're not familiar with TCX, this is a premium European brand that we know, we love, and we use here at RevZilla. And with the Fuel WPs, this is going to come in around the $280 price point, and it is that step up, excuse me, over the Heritage boots. And really, like I said earlier, the Heritage isn't going to give you the ideal sole. It's not going to have the zip entry point. You're not going to have the shift pads. You're not going to have the Achilles bellows at the back. So this is going to be a step forward. If you like the look of the Heritage, but you want a beefed up style to that, definitely want to consider the Fuel WPs. Now, breaking this down, like I said, the full construction of this is going to be an oiled leather. Soft, supple feel. You put these on, it feels like the boot is already broken in. Really great hand to the leather. It almost has a soft suede touch to it. But the main thing that I want to start with as far as a construction standpoint is going to be the ideal sole construction. Now, what do they mean by ideal sole? If you take a look at this, it looks like a traditional stitch sole with the lug sole to it. It's different than that. So what they've done with ideal construction is they have a leather last, and a leather last is a long band of leather that's going to sit along the entire bottom of the footbed. And then they stitch the boot to that leather last. They then glue that leather last to the lug sole. Now they do this for a variety of reasons. One, it makes it a lot more affordable to have the boot resoled because you're not actually stitching into the sole itself. You're simply going to glue on a new sole while that leather construction stays stitched to the last. The other reason this is great is because you're not deconstructing the boot from that last. So once you break in a pair of boots and it feels great, the last thing you want to have to do when you get it resoled is to break it in again and worry about whether or not the sizing has changed. So by stitching to that leather last and then just re-gluing a new sole onto that, the sizing won't change, the boot's already broken in, you're simply gluing a new bottom onto the bottom of the boot. And what you get is a boot that can be resoled time and time again, and you're going to get longevity out of a pair of boots. How many of you out there have had that pair of boots in the closet you've had resoled 3 or 4 times, they're 15 or 20 years old? That's what TCX is giving you with something like the Fuel WPs. So you get that look of the stitch sole, but you get the modern, ease of use or ease of resoling with something like the ideal construction. Now it is going to be a lug sole, big beefy tread pattern to this. As far as height is concerned, it's about an inch heel to this, so it will raise you up about an inch when you're standing tall. And rigidity, on a scale of 0 to 10, on our rigidity scale, this is going to be about a 6 out of 10. So it's something that's going to be a beefy enough boot that you're going to be able to stand on your pegs all day. It's going to give you that protection that you'd expect from a CE rated boot, but it's going to be comfortable enough that if you are going to wear this as your daily rider, you're going to put them on, wear them all day to work, and then ride home in them. They will protect you as well as give you the comfort you need to rock these. Now you will have reinforcements at the toe, symmetrical shift panel, and like I said, this is that CE rated boot, so that means you're getting big, beefy ankle cups, and one of the things that TCX is doing is that there's really thick, dense padding on the inside to make sure that you're comfortable with all that added protection. You're going to have reinforced heel at the back with the double stitching around with all the leather panels you're seeing here. And the other upgrade that we talked about over the Heritage is the bellows that you're going to see at the back of the Achilles, just for that extra bit of flexibility and range of motion. Now, when we're talking about getting inside and out of the boot, you do have a zip entry point on this, so it's no longer just a pullover. And this is a WP boot, so it's that proprietary waterproof liner from TCX, which goes to about 2.5 inches below where the top of the boot ends. So remember, if you're using this as a waterproof boot, you want to make sure that you're wearing a pair of waterproof pants that cover down over top of where that waterproof liner begins. Now, it is just a proprietary waterproof liner, so it's not going to breathe as well as something like Gore-Tex would, so just keep that in mind. If you are going to be utilizing this in the heat of the summer, you might feel that they're a little bit warm for you, but as you work out of the summer into the fall, winter, spring, it's going to be an excellent option for you to consider, especially if you like this engineer style. There's a lot of riders out there that have been rocking TCX boots for years, and if you want to hear more about what they have to say, click the info button on your desktop or mobile device, which will allow you to read other rider reviews from folks that are already using TCX boots on their motorcycles. If you have more questions for us, reach out to one of our gear geeks at 877-792-9455, or simply shoot us an email, cs@RevZilla.com. Thank you for joining us for this look at the TCX Fuel WP Boots. I'm Spurge. Enjoy the ride.